Thank you, Charmaine. That was sweet. Okay, I have all these books. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Thoughts build your blueprint. Okay. This month we are about creating and co-creating with God. And, that's what we do every day. We're creating. We're building bridges. We're building buildings. We're teaching. We're being moms. We're being parents, dads. We are being ministers. We are creative beings, and we are out in the world, and we're in that physical environment, thinking, being, and navigating matter. You think, you do, you become your thoughts. You think, you do, you become your thoughts. Your thoughts is your life plan. So I want to use an example. The storage building. So it wasn't a bunch of guys that got together and go, okay, we need to build this building. Okay, we're just going to get some lumber, and we're going to get some nails, and we're going to do this, and we're going to... No, it began with a thought, didn't it? It began with a thought. Maybe it was a need. We need, okay, what do we need? How big do we need it? What size? Where's it going to go on the property? So we had that thought, and then we had the action behind that thought. And then it started becoming together, and we had that master plan, blueprint. And what did you do? You followed that blueprint, right? You followed it. But I know here at InnerQuest, you didn't just go, okay, let's get to building here. No, you went inside and you prayed and you meditated. I know that because I'm part of InnerQuest, and that's what we do. And you know that building is special because it is built on sacred ground. So we know that is an awesome building, and it will serve our needs. But it began with a thought, action behind that thought, and we followed the plan. But we connected with God. So simple, so simple. Our thoughts build a blueprint. It's a thought, an idea. It's sent out to the universe. Build, action follows thought, charged with energy. Blueprint, form, impinged on the universal substance. The universe supports those vibrations and brings it back. Idea, force, form. Simple, basic metaphysical principle, right? Jesus was a master builder. His life was a blueprint for us to follow, a master plan, so that we could create in our own lives peace and love, beauty and harmony. The foundation of his master plan was built on love and brotherhood. As you grow, I got ahead of myself, but you are the chooser. Your creations are complex, aren't they? Like a house with many levels, you start with the foundation. You lay that foundation. And like when you're born, or even as we think here at InnerQuest, before you're born, that foundation is laid. And then as you grow, the structure, layer by layer by layer. So I want to use an example. Okay, me. This is Bette's house. So we can see on the outer, almost 5 feet. A few pounds over 100. Not many. Not too old, not too young. But you can see that, maybe there are parts that have been altered since that initial blueprint. There's a broken bone here. There's some scars. And you can see on the outside that the blueprint has been altered, right? You can see that. But can you see that the layers inside have been altered as well? Some of you can see that. But it's by my own thoughts that those layers have been changed as I grew. Can you see that? Is that a good visual? Mm-hmm. Action follows thought. We are navigating through matter. Life happens to us. It's how we think and therefore how we choose to accept our truth that changes us from within. You know, we may stumble and fall, or we can get up and move beyond with God as our co-creator. We can refine the blueprint to awesome. That's what we want to do, refine the blueprint. We alter the blueprint all the time. You know, we do that. You know, we change our mind. We change the way we think. We created the blueprint of our lives. What we do, where we live, our relationships, our jobs, we think, we do, we become. Our lives are a mirror to our thoughts. Here's a simple definition of thought. This is from Webster and Wikipedia. These definitions are, I looked them up. It says, a thought is an idea, plan, opinion, picture, mental image that is formed in your mind. Thought is the process of using your mind to consider something. It can also be the product of that process, an idea or just the thing you're thinking about. This is this is on the website. Thought can also refer to organized beliefs of a period, individual, or group, and we know that. I want to read this from the Lightbringer. This is from White Eagle, and this is what it says about thought. It starts on page 138. The power of thought. We cannot too strongly emphasize the power of thought. You think that thought is something private, that no one can read human thoughts, but truly there is no covering to thought. It is heard, it is seen, and moreover, it often has a dynamic power, as you have yet to learn. Your thoughts are either helping the world to enlightenment or are holding back the progress of humanity. Thought can create good health, and thought can also heal. But thought can introduce pain and disease and can destroy the bodily, mental, and human soul life. Science is only on the outermost fringe of comprehension of the power of thought. Thought can do anything in the world. Thoughts of anger, fear, and hate form the root of all suffering and of wars. Thought can also bring forth beauty and harmony and brotherhood and all else that men and women long for. We know that by seeing only good, by creating good, and by positive thought, we can help to bring about that which is desirable and good. And then he goes on to say, seek the will of God, not self-will. Seek first the kingdom of God, go into the silence, seek there, and then, when you have found it, let it manifest in your own lives. We need to be aware of our thoughts, don't we? They're not just affecting us, they're affecting the whole. Okay, the definition of build, because we have the thought, now we're building. To build, to form by ordering and uniting materials by gradual means into a composite whole. Construct, erect, assemble, make, fashion, model, create, shape. You get the idea. This is from Jesus, Teacher and Healer, and it's on page 53. I love these books. You can tell I read them. So, page 53. And this is sweet. You are living an outer life in a physical world, but side by side with the outer life, there is an inner life. This inner life is a world of thought, and thought promotes action. Now, as you think, so you become. You are creating your inner world. From that inner world comes your speech and your action. Love that book. We build our lives through thought. Simple. And now we go to the definition of blueprint. Blueprint is something intended as a guide for making something else. A blueprint for a house, a design, a pattern. My mother made our clothes, but she went by a pattern. Historically, it's a photographic print of plans or technical drawings, and it's usually on a blue background with white lettering. Those of you that are builders, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a design, it's a game plan, it's a master plan. So what does your blueprint look like? So visualize with me again. Say our blueprint is our birth certificate, time of birth, female, male, how many pounds? I don't know, 6.5 pounds. Parents, whatever. Your birth certificate is like the foundation, like I said before. And then each layer is built upon that foundation. So what are the building blocks? Nourishment, love, education, relationships, God. Those are the building blocks. We begin with a clean slate. We're perfect babies, aren't we? Then we build from that perfect plan. You are a beautiful child of God with God qualities. We start out with God qualities. We forget that, but we have God qualities. You are loved and nurtured, and it's the perfect blueprint. So what happened? We're still perfect. We're still perfect. In the eyes of God, we're still perfect. The thing is, we're spiritual beings. The layers are what I call life layers. We can change our blueprint when we change our way of thinking. And by choosing to co-create with God energy, we change it to greater. Okay? Thoughts build your blueprint. There are different types of thoughts. We have negative thoughts, positive thoughts, thought bodies, and what I like to call God thoughts. Our negative thoughts, you know what negative thoughts are. They're charged with negative emotional energy. If you hear yourself saying, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I can't do this, I don't have enough of whatever, those are negative thoughts. And these thoughts can literally shut you down. They can paralyze and deplete your energy. They destroy your confidence. They sabotage your forward motion. And they also create disease in your body. Something to think about. Thought bodies. These thoughts are created by a group. We call it race consciousness. They're random thoughts, somebody else's thoughts. What someone else thinks, that becomes our own. If you're told over and over and over again that you're worthless, that you won't amount to anything, you begin to take that on as your own, and that becomes your belief, and that gets manifest in your life. So we have to be careful. One time I was sitting in my car, it was rush hour traffic. You know how it is, it just shuts down and you're sitting there. And this word just came into my mind, and I'm like, where did that come from? Because it's a word I don't use. I never use. It's not something I would think about. But it wasn't. It wasn't. But I understood where it come from, because it was out there with so much emotion and force. I'm sure everyone in that vicinity got that word in their minds, because it was there. But I started laughing because I knew it wasn't mine. It's not mine, and it's not yours either. But we have to be aware. We have to be aware. Is it mine? Is it not mine? And then we come to positive thoughts. Positive thoughts, they're charged with positive emotional energy, excitement, hope, faith, wonderment. like you're going on a trip and you're manifesting this trip. So all of your thoughts are going to support that trip. These thoughts are kind. They're full of gratitude. They're uplifting, healing, happy. And I like to think that when you come into Inner Quest, you feel those thoughts, those vibrations. Because I do. When I walk in, I feel just uplifted. I feel happy. I feel calm. And that's because that's what's going out. That's what's in this area, this place of peace. And now we go to what I call God thoughts. God thoughts happen when we channel with God, when we connect with God, and they are charged with what I call God energy. We go into a state of serenity and stillness, a state of no thought, transcendence, at one-ment, and bliss. In prayer and meditation, there is that feeling of love and light, of beauty, of harmony, peace, comfort. God thoughts come to us in meditation, and they also come to us in downloads after meditation. So you can literally feel the difference. But what we have to remember is all thoughts are supported by the universe. Negative, positive. So there's a great responsibility in what you think about, what you pay attention to. Your thoughts not only affect your world, they affect the whole world. So what are you thinking? Deepak Chopra says in the Creating Affluence, he says, what you give attention to, you give life. So every thought that we think is impinged onto the universe. So no wonder a world is in such chaos. Change your way of thinking. Change your thoughts. Change your life. Just like the song. I love that song. When I think about it, I want to just dance. And then I want to show you when I talk about God thoughts and when we go in prayer and meditation, I want to read this because it shows the power of thought. This is from the Aquarian. It's chapter 84, verses 13 through 25. Jesus is in Samaria, and he's been teaching at a synagogue. And then he leaves the synagogue, and he goes into prayer. Then Jesus left the synagogue, and at the hour of evening prayer, he went up to the sacred grove, and all the people turned their faces toward their holy mount and prayed. And Jesus prayed. And as he sat in silent mood, a voice of soul spoke to his soul, imploring help. And Jesus saw a woman on a couch in sore distress, for she was sick, nigh unto death. She could not speak, but she had heard that Jesus was a man of God, and in her heart she called on him for help. And Jesus helped. He did not speak, but like a flash of light, a mighty virtue from his soul filled full the body of the dying one. And as she arose and joined her kindred while they prayed, her kindred were astonished, and they said to her, "How were you healed?" And she replied, "I do not know. I simply asked the man of God in thought for healing power, and in a moment I was well." The people said, "The gods have surely come to earth, for man has not the power to heal by thought." But Jesus said, "The greatest power in heaven and earth is thought. God made the universe by thought. He paints the lily and the rose with thought. Why think it strange that I should send a healing thought and change the ethers of disease and death to those of health and life? Lo, you shall see far greater things than this, for by the power of holy thought, my body will be changed from carnal flesh to spirit form, and so will yours." I thought that was a beautiful illustration of healing by thought. We do that here at Inner Quest. We send Reiki. We heal. And it's just a powerful energy that we can use to heal. And I just thought that was so beautiful. When we connect with God for whatever we're working on, we are tapping into what I call the God potential for greater healing, greater clarity, greater insight. Whatever it is we're experiencing in the outer, when we stop, be still, go into prayer, meditation, go into the oneness, be with God in that stillness. The outcome is always for our greater good, always for our greater good. So these are the steps to co-creating with God. 1, connect. Connect with God. Go within, meditate, pray, ask for guidance and clarity. And like the storage shed, you need to visualize what your creation needs to look like, or you want it to look like. And then put that vision on paper. That's your blueprint, that's your plan. Energize the vision with positive emotion, God energy emotion. See it becoming a reality. Give it to God and release the attachment to it. Release the outcome. Give it to God. And the last step is to be grateful and see it happening now. It is happening because we're co-creating with God. Very simple, right? It's all simple. It's very simple. You realize you need something. You ask for divine guidance. You visualize. Your plan is created. You release it, give it to God, and you say thanks. On page 91, 93, Creating Affluence, this is what, and I'm just paraphrasing, Deepak Chopra says about meditation. He says, meditation allows the mind to experience more and more abstract levels of the thinking process, to transcend to a level of awareness of pure consciousness. And in this state, our blood pressure goes down. The stress is alleviated. Anxiety is relieved. And meditation improves our attention span, our creativity, our learning ability, and our memory. So I feel like when we go into meditation, we are connecting to that God energy. And in this space, we can heal, we can create, and we can release. We can release all negative energy from our bodies. Let it go. So what's the payoff? You know, the payoff is we're consciously choosing greater by co-creating with God. We're starting off with a divine plan. How great is that? Fear and worry is eliminated. We don't have to worry about it because it's in God's hand. We can create a happy life, a healthy body. We can create the perfect job. We can create the perfect painting or write the perfect song. We can live in peace and harmony. And we are protected from outside influence. And we can stand in our own truth. And the universe supports our creation. I wanted to read one more thing from Jesus, Teacher and Healer. Here it is. I love these books. This is on page 59. You are living an outer life in a physical world, but side by side with this outer life, there is an inner life. This inner life is a world of thought, and thought promotes action. Now, as you think, so you become. You're creating your inner world. From that inner world comes your speech and your action. Isn't that sweet? You know, it's not scary. It's not something that we have to be afraid of. We just have to be aware. Whatever we want to create in our lives, these are our tools. So let's go within. Just breathe. And just envision a beautiful column of light descending over you, enfolding you. And this is God energy, God love. And it moves within you and through you. And as we visualize this light, we see this light clearing, cleansing, washing away all that is not for our higher selves. And now I want you to just breathe and breathe in God's love. Breathe it into your very being. I breathe in God's love. I breathe in God's love. I breathe in the light of God. And now I want you to take your focus to your heart. And we're going deep, deep, deep into the heart, into that space. A space of pure love, oneness, space of expansion, where we are one with all and where we are with none. We are in nothingness and we are in everything. We are in the universal substance. We are in the heart of God. God and I are one. God and I are one. God, I am. God, I am. No thought, just feeling, being, God, I am. In the stillness, in the silence, this is the space of connecting. You can return to this space anytime you want. Now I want you to take your focus, coming back into your heart. Breathe, and you're taking this God energy back with you. Back into your body. And feel the chair. Feel the space around you. Breathe. And you can open your eyes. Thoughts build your blueprint. Perfection begins in the silence with God. Say, hey, God.
Yeah.